the management of Mahindra Sustain. We are joined by Deepak Thakur, Managing Director and CEO at Mahindra Sustain. Mr. Thakur, thanks so much for taking the time out and speaking to us. You've recently closed a financing for a term loan of 1,448 crore rupees. So now with this latest financing in place, what's the execution timeline of the project and when will you be commissioning the project as well?
So these are two projects that we are actually closed the funding for, and both these projects should be operational next year as things stand.
Hi, a very good afternoon, Mr. Thakur. This is Shrishti also joining in. What we see is that you have quite a bit of the capacity that is coming on board over the next few years. Now, give us a sneak peek to what the platform would look like in the next 18 to 24 months.
So as we speak, we have about 3,100 megawatt peak of pipeline of projects that are being built or developed by Sustain. And most of this capacity should be operational over the next 2 years as we speak.
Okay, Mr. Thakur, you also had plans to invest almost 20,000 crore rupees over the next 5 years. Are you looking at increasing that now on the back of this new term loan?
We actually have a plan. We actually had a plan of building out 5,400 megawatts over 5 years. We came out with the plan about 2 years back. We are 60% plus on that plan already in about a year and a half in terms of capacity one. So obviously, I think we look forward to continue building at the pace of about 2,000 mega, 1.5 to 2,000 megawatts a year. And clearly, the opportunity at this point in time is fairly robust. So yes, we hope to continue growing at the same pace, and hopefully, I think the plan is to exceed the plan that we had created almost a year and a half back.
Well, that's great to hear, Mr. Thakur, that in your 5-year plan, in the first 2 years itself, you have achieved 60% of that. But wanted to understand, are you like well funded to achieve these targets?
We have both the Mahindra Group and Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. Both of these shareholders have committed to actually fund the 5,400 megawatts that we had, envisaged at the outset. So clearly, I think that runway is available for us. Also, I think the business approach that we are following is once projects are built, we have operated the projects for a year. These projects will get transferred. One of the options available for us is the InvIT, where Ontario Teachers and Mahindra are the sponsors. There is a ROFO arrangement that exists, or it could be other third-party entities that we would like to move these assets to. So obviously, there is a cash cycle where projects get built out, they get managed for a particular period of time, and then we get these projects flipped, which will enable us to get cash back. So hence, there is a clear cash cycle available for us to continue growing at the pace that we want to grow at.
Okay, Mr. Thakur, that sounds good, but tell us in terms of a timeline, when is your first asset going to be ready to flip? What's the outlook on that front as well?
So if you look at next year is when this first set of assets that we are talking about, which we have we have achieved financial closure for. I think it'll be a year down the road that when these assets will be available for us to be transferred out as per the requirements or the statutory requirements that we have to adhere to.
But also, Mr. Thakur, any plans of value unlocking or getting another strategic partner on board?
I think at this point in time, I think we have our shareholders committed in terms of capital for what we need for Sustain's growth. So obviously, there is no need for us to go and seek any further capital at this point in time, as we are kind of delivering on the plan that we have built, and of course the opportunities that we see on the way forward.
Can Mr. Thakur also help us understand what your project mix is going to look like going ahead? Because from what I understand, most of these projects are going to be solar. So what role will hydrogen, what role will storage, etc. play? What are these business verticals going to look like going ahead?
So yes, I think the capacity that we currently have in our pipeline is primarily solar. However, as the market is evolving, we see more of solar wind hybrids. We are seeing solar plus storage. We are seeing FDRE, RTC. as Sustain, we are looking at all these opportunities. In fact, I think we are building out our first solar wind project. It's a 150 megawatt project in the state of Maharashtra, which is a captive project, of which 50% capacity will actually be for the Mahindra Group, and another 50% will be for external off-takers. So we have already started our journey to get into hybrids, and we were the first company to have done the EPC for a solar storage project about 2.5 years back at Modera. So we understand the solar storage space as well, and we look forward to, as an IPP, also, playing in that space, since the market is moving very actively in that direction.
Okay, Mr. Thakur, on that note, we will let you go. Thanks so much for joining us and speaking to us at ET Now. Viewers, that was Deepak Thakur, Managing Director and CEO at Mahindra Sustain. But time now to get kick-started.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.